And we need to recognize that, and he deserves to be seen, and he deserves a mega fight. This is why we look at Dana White, and we love the UFC so much, because of what Dana White has meant to it. Because the number one gift that Dana White brings to the table, that he will make sure that if you want to see a fight, if the public at large wants to see a fight, he will prioritize making sure you get to see that fight. That's Dana White. The promoters have hijacked boxing, and as a result, they deny us the opportunity to see these great guys in mega fights, and it's a damn shame. That's why Jake Paul is so relevant.
I think it's cap. I don't think he's actually retiring, but it's a smart move by him.
Terrence Crawford was ducked at 135. He was ducked at 140. He was ducked at 147. Then after leaving 147, he beats Canelo. Now he's the man. He finally got to, I'm the number one draw in boxing status, and he never fought. If this retirement stays, he'll never fight again afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's tough because at 38 years old, that's when he reached that peak. If he fought for another 3 years, maybe we could have that conversation, and I think it'd be undisputed.
Community has been full of debate lately. Supporters, experts, and fellow fighters have all shared mixed reactions to his choice to walk away. Some feel Crawford may have retired sooner than expected and believe he still had unfinished business in the ring. However,
for the boxing, if you see responses from fans, they don't even argue who's better anymore. They're arguing who's the A side and who's not. Who's a draw and who. Y'all don't know a left hook from a fish hook, and you talking about who's the draw and who's the A side. That's the point that I'm making. It's not about proving. When you say young fighters don't want to prove, and there's still a few out there. And I think the Terrence Crawfords of the world, I think he's one of the last of a dying breed. When you say prove, question is prove to who? Because if I can prove to my 500, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million followers, as long as they believe that
a lot of boxing supporters feel Terrence Crawford stepped away before his time and are still hoping to see him match up against certain opponents. Andre Ward, however, takes a very different view. He argues that a fighter's legacy isn't decided by fans, but by the respect earned from true insiders of the sport.
And that I've done enough and everybody's ducking me. That's enough. That's the validation that helps cats sleep good at night.
Yeah.
The validation that yourself, myself, and other people was after was, number one, me. I gotta feel comfortable living with me. I gotta walk around and live with myself and be like, bruh, are you really him? Then it's my people, my coach, my goddaddy, my circle. I gotta look my kids in the face and I want them to know that my daddy the best fighter in the world. The real answer is, what do your peers say about you? How do they feel about you? Because most of the time, unless there's some personal stuff going on, a fighter gonna keep it 100. Yep. Fans can say what they want to say. You didn't fight nobody. A fighter will come in and say you.
Perspective, the timing of the exit couldn't have been better. Terrence Crawford walking away after a showdown with Canelo was the ideal way to close the chapter, leaving no unanswered questions. Ward also pushed back on earlier remarks from Max Kellerman, who
I wouldn't be mad if I never see Terrence fight again. That the way he performed, getting ready to be 38, I think, in a few days. Man, what better way to go out? What better way to tell the game goodbye? What better way? Who you gonna fight? I was arguing with Max on the way to the venue about Boots Ennis. Nah, we don't go fight Canelo and then go back and fight Boots Ennis. I saw a report today. Somebody was talking about him going up to light heavyweight. Nah, we don't go up to light heavyweight. We just went up 3 weight classes since the Spence fight and 2 weight classes since the Madrimov fight, my last fight. This is the perfect sentence.
Stephen A. Smith has acknowledged this as well. While he fully respects Terrence Crawford's choice to step away, he notes that Crawford's name continues to be dragged into conversations about potential future opponents, similar to how Floyd Mayweather was constantly discussed during his era. Despite how perfect a Canelo showdown would have been as the ultimate closing moment of Crawford's career.
Spectacular in a lot of different ways. Listen, the bottom line is he's special. Pound for pound, he's the best in the world at this particular moment in time. There is no doubt about it, and he's going out on top. He deserves it. And now it's going to warrant questions. What would he have done as a welterweight. Let's say, for example, if he was going against somebody like a Floyd Money Mayweather, if he was going up against a Sugar Ray Leonard or a Tommy the Hitman Hearns and people like that, he's in that conversation where you're asking those questions. Some people would pick him to win, others would say no, because his boxing brilliance is undeniable. And for him to go out and to step up to super middleweight and to beat Saul Canelo Alvarez says a lot about him. The only thing that I would say is that I really, really wish there were two fighters that I wished that he had fought.
Even as he praises Terence Crawford, Stephen A. Smith admits there are still a couple of matchups he personally wishes he could see. He makes it clear that this curiosity doesn't come from doubting the legitimacy of Crawford's retirement at all. Instead, it reflects the wider discussion that continues to surround Crawford within the boxing world. According to Stephen A., there are a select few fighters operating at an elite level who would genuinely merit a chance to share the ring with Crawford, and those are the fights that keep fans talking.
That he had fought. I wish that he had fought the Charlo at the junior middleweight division, because obviously they don't like him. They love Errol Spence, and he destroyed Errol Spence. I would have liked to see him fight those guys, one of them anyway. And I definitely think that a guy by the name of Jaron Boots Ennis, at the welterweight division, you're going to hear a lot about him in the future. Doggy, Peter, the reason why people don't hear more about him is because people won't fight him. At some point in time, when you are spectacular, as Jaron Boots Ennis is, you deserve.
Stephen A. Smith argues that boxing promoters have taken control in a way that blocks the biggest fights fans actually want. He believes Terence Crawford stepping away from the sport, especially at a moment when he was also losing a title, adds to concerns about the sport's credibility. Smith even suggests that a figure like Dana White, someone known for delivering the matchups fans demand, could help fix these issues.
Boxing, and as a result, they deny us the opportunity to see these great guys in mega fights, and it's a damn shame. That's why Jake Paul is so relevant, because he's found a way to bypass promoters and make money in the boxing rings instead of being a prisoner to the promoters. Even though he didn't fight anybody, he's about to fight Anthony Joshua, and we'll see what happens with that. Anthony Joshua should knock him into tomorrow because he's the bigger fighter with incredible power, but he's got a glass jaw. So if Jake Paul catches him, who knows? But we want to see the fights that we want to see when we want to see them. And boxing doesn't give us that. And two people who have suffered the most is Jaron Boots Ennis.
Sharing his thoughts on Terence Crawford walking away from the sport, Stephen A. Smith places the real blame on boxing promoters, accusing them of repeatedly disappointing fans by failing to deliver the matchups everyone wants to see. He believes Crawford stands above that side of the business and credits him for competing the right way throughout his career. Stephen A. also praises Crawford for giving boxing fans so many unforgettable moments and for choosing to step out on top, capped by an impressive final showing.
On all comers, and he's taken all of them out. He is spectacular. He's the best pound for pound. He's been a tribute and a testament to the sport of boxing, and he should be not just applauded, not just celebrated, but revered, because he's that special. My props to him if indeed this is it and we'll never see him fighting again. Thank you for all you've done for boxing, Terence Crawford.
Then comes a response from the outspoken Jake Paul, who actually views Terence Crawford's retirement as a smart decision. He brushes the situation off as cap and goes even further, claiming he's completely ready to step into the ring with Crawford. Paul even hints that the fight is already lined up for next year and says fans will eventually see it become reality. Until that happens, he maintains that Crawford hasn't truly retired at all.
Out of Springs. Yeah. And he came just to train with me and to help me and support me. You know what I mean? That's what you call a champion, that respects other people as well, other champions. And that's one thing about Terence Crawford. He's always respected all the champions, all his peers, all his partners, all his gym mates. And he's going to be missed. Great legend of a guy. Not only what he did, what he's like in the ring. People know how good he is in the ring, but what he's like outside the ring is more humbling. There's a big difference between him and Mayweather. There's a big difference between him and the other fighters I've been around. Terence is a lovely guy who is very respectful.
Moving past all the debates, Amir Khan reflects on Terence Crawford's legacy with admiration. He recalls how Crawford came fully prepared for every fight and always treated everyone outside the ring with respect. In Amir's eyes, Crawford is exceptional not just for his skills but also for his character, setting him apart from even legends like Floyd Mayweather.
That Floyd Mayweather is greater than Terrence Crawford. I can't. Terrence Crawford never got the opportunity to prove his greatness as much as Floyd Mayweather did because he was never the draw that Mayweather was. Everyone wanted that Mayweather fight, whether they thought they were going to win or they were going to lose, regardless, just because they knew the payday was going to change their life. Floyd Mayweather got an opportunity to defend his belt, or to fight as many world champions as any boxer in history, which is why a lot of people see him as the greatest.
At the same time, Crawford's retirement has left a noticeable gap in the boxing world, sparking discussions about his place among the greats. Kieran Hickey Simple has raised questions about Crawford's status, particularly when compared to Floyd Mayweather. He argues that Mayweather's legacy is considered higher because, once he reached superstar status, he didn't leave the sport prematurely. In Hickey's opinion, part of the reason
was ducked at 135, he was ducked at 140, he was ducked at 147. Then after leaving 147, he beats Canelo. Now he's the man. He finally got to I'm the #1 draw in boxing status, and he never fought. If this retirement stays, he'll never fight again afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's tough because at 38 years old, that's when he reached that peak. If he fought for another 3 years, maybe we could have that conversation, and I think it'd be undisputed. I do think, though, Terrence Crawford's dominance, it's right up there. It's just as impressive as Floyd Mayweather. And as a matter of fact, it might even be more impressive. Terrence Crawford in those 42 fights didn't lose on a...
Simple points out that Crawford may have missed out on opportunities to reach even greater heights, suggesting that some opponents may have avoided facing him. Despite this, he still places Floyd Mayweather at the top when it comes to overall greatness. However, he also acknowledges that Crawford's dominance could rival, or even exceed, Mayweather's, noting that Crawford has never lost a single fight on the scorecards throughout his career. To Hickey, that undefeated record stands as an achievement even more remarkable than Floyd's.
I won by a unanimous decision, or I stopped you. Or I stopped you. Yeah. It's... Bringing up Floyd is tough. I think if there was a match between the two, this is the guy that would give him the toughest battle. A dude that could... I'm taking Bud.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm taking Bud.
You have to?
I'm taking Bud. Look, let me tell you why. Terrence Crawford, even though Floyd, the most amazing defensive fighter we've ever seen. Ever. Bud, whenever it mattered most, went out there and nearly stopped some of the best fighters. Or did.
Over the course of his entire professional career, Terrence Crawford has never recorded a draw. Every bout ended with him emerging victorious, earning decision wins that many argue make his record even more impressive. While still recognizing Floyd Mayweather's legendary status, Kieran Hickey Simple suggests that if a fight between the two had ever taken
away on top after beating Kovalev, maybe Andre came closest to doing what Crawford just did if he doesn't come back and if Crawford stays retired. But Lennox really struggled with Vitaly Klitschko. And he looked at Vladimir Klitschko and thought, I think I can do it. I believe I can do it if I make myself get into that level of shape. I don't want to do that anymore. You know, like an American football player who says, I just don't want to run through that brick wall anymore. But the question really is, can you still do that if you think you don't want to anymore? So a wise man says, I don't want to find out.
Amid all the discussion, Max Kellerman's perspective has caught attention. He believes Terrence Crawford made a smart choice by retiring while at such a remarkable peak. Kellerman notes that many fighters step away, but very few do it in the way Crawford did. The only other fighter he compares to Crawford in this sense is Andre Ward. He stresses that once you've reached the top of your career, it's wise to make space for the next generation, and that's exactly what Crawford accomplished. His record serves as a testament to his distinctive farewell, leaving a lasting mark on the sport.
Or to clown, or to be kind of a big, colorful personality. And there was a sense in boxing back then that, well, Bronner's going to be a star, and no matter how good Crawford is, people may never know it because he's so dangerous. Who would want to fight him? And if he doesn't start making a ruckus outside of the ring, then he won't generate enough interest to generate the kind of attention and therefore money it would take to get opponents in the ring with him. Yeah. And Crawford, I talked to him about that then when he was a lightweight, 12, 13 years ago, whatever that was. And his answer was, I'm me. I'm just going to do what.
Kellerman also praises Crawford for another standout trait, doing things completely on his own terms. He highlights that throughout his career, Crawford never relied on flashy marketing tactics to prove himself. Reflecting on a time when boxing was often dominated by promotions, rankings, and title chasing, Kellerman remembers a Crawford who concentrated solely on defeating and stopping his opponents to secure victory. Rather than playing the political game of boxing, Crawford remained true to the sport itself, earning widespread respect and leaving a lasting legacy in the boxing world.
He did in overlapping eras, and Crawford obviously was more of an offensive fighter and Floyd more of a defensive fighter, but Floyd had a tremendous offense and Crawford had very good defense. I think when people look at that, they'll say, well, Floyd was faster. Floyd had a better defense. Floyd made fewer mistakes. But Crawford's boxing IQ was just as high as Floyd's, and he was a better puncher and finisher than Floyd. So, that's the kind of fight I think when people analyze, Floyd might be outboxing him but Crawford's going to figure some stuff out, and eventually he's going to hit Mayweather with something and hurt him, and when he does, he's going to finish him.
With comparisons being drawn between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, Max Kellerman offers his perspective on who might have had the edge. Breaking down each fighter's style, he believes Crawford, with his exceptional ring IQ, could have found a way to land a fight-ending punch on Mayweather. Kellerman argues that Crawford is an even sharper finisher than Floyd.
Calls time on competition. Undefeated, on top, and on his own terms. The greatest switch hitter of all time. First undisputed male champion in the 4-belt era. First two-weight undisputed male champion in the 4-belt era. First, and currently only, 3-weight undisputed male champion in the 4-belt era. And he is the only man in the history of boxing to have won a Ring Magazine belt in 4 separate weight divisions. For those that don't know, to compete for a Ring Magazine belt, you must be ranked number 1 or number 2 in your respective weight division. They do not give these out.
All the debates and criticisms, one thing is certain, Terence Crawford may have retired from boxing, but his legacy in the sport is everlasting. This reflects Crawford's own message, having nothing left to prove. His remarkable record shines among boxing's all-time greats. His reputation as a legendary fighter, with achievements unmatched by most, stands as a testament to the dedication and hard work he brought to every fight. Crawford will be remembered for his extraordinary boxing IQ, impeccable footwork, and a unique undefeated record that no one else has ever matched.
Sanctioning bodies. He has done that in 4 separate divisions, from 135 pounds up to 168. Numbers do not lie. We witnessed.
Terence Crawford is the only boxer in history to claim the Ring Magazine title across 4 different weight divisions, putting him alongside legends like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. as one of the rare fighters to achieve 4-division lineal championships. He is celebrated as one of the sport's all-time greats.
You have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it.
As Teddy Atlas would always say, Canelo was looking to be friends, and Crawford is not looking to be friends.
I think,
in the words of Teddy Atlas, it has been a privilege to witness Terence Crawford's incredible career and a true blessing to see him retire at the top.